The name Ardrossan comes from the Gaelic Ardrossan, which means headland of the High Province, and today we are going to be looking at the history of Ardrossan. Ardrossan's history can be traced back to around 1140, with its earliest settlements and its castle here around the Cannon Hill area. The castle and its estate would eventually pass through the family line until the 14th century, when Godfrey Barclay de Ardrossan, don't make me repeat that, died unfortunately without any family heirs. The original Ardrossan Castle was built here by the clan Barclay and was partially destroyed during Scotland's Wars of Independence. Over the next few centuries it would go into disuse before eventually being demolished yet again by the forces of that historical rascal Oliver Cromwell in 1648. Cromwell and his forces took the stones from the castle and would use them to build a fort at what is today Ayr Citadel. The castle also has another long-standing legend involving the devil himself. Sir Fergus Barclay, known as the Devil of Ardrossan, was a horseman known around the local land for his tremendous skills. The secret to his skills being a magical bribe given to Barclay by the devil in exchange for his soul. However, Barclay would later trick the devil into being given his soul back, and infuriated by this, the devil attacked the castle in a rage and is even said to have left a hoof print on one of the stones. Sir Fergus Barclay is buried in the castle chapel, located a few hundred feet down the hill. It is also said that the ghost of William Wallace himself roams the castle grounds on stormy nights. In 1796, Hugh the Earl of Eglinton had big plans for Ardrossan. His vision was a town with wide streets and good housing. He also had plans to expand Ardrossan Harbour, as well as building a canal that connected Ardrossan to Glasgow. Needless to say that Hugh's vision was never realised. When Hugh died in 1819, the work had been in progress for 13 years but was left incomplete. Work on the harbour was eventually completed in 1864, and Ardrossan town grew as a result of the harbour and became a borough of barony, with a provost, magistrates and commissioners. Ardrossan continued to flourish in the 20th century with new manufacturing industries, the Shellmex refinery, metallic manufacturing and the Winton foundry, to name but a few. With running down of many of the traditional industries, Ardrossan Harbour also declined in the later half of the 20th century, until the establishment of the marina in 1997, which transformed the Eglinton Basin from an out-of-work commercial dock into the now vibrant marina and boatyard, and a beginning of a new chapter in Ardrossan's maritime history. Despite being a town of less than 2 miles wide, Ardrossan has the unique position of having 3 different train stations here at Ardrossan South Beach, Ardrossan Town and Ardrossan Harbour. Previously there had been 2 other stations, Ardrossan North, the remains of which can still be found across from Montgomery Street, and Ardrossan Montgomery Pier, which is now the Harbourside Apartments. 1968 would be the last time these old stations would see their last train. Like most towns in Ayrshire, Ardrossan has its own football team, Winton Rovers, who play their home matches here at Winton Park. The club has competed in the junior level of football for many years and is one of the oldest clubs in Ayrshire football. Ardrossan Bowling Club has maintained a constant presence in the town since 1974, with its function suite being in continuous use for birthdays and parties, much like the Civic Centre next door. The bowling club currently has around 600 members, and hopefully when the global pandemic is over, then we can see it up and running again. Ardrossan once had its own cinema, Lyric, occupying this building here at number 59 and 61 Princess Street. It was originally opened in 1914 but was later reconfigured with the dawn of sound cinema in 1932 and could accommodate up to 650 people. Sadly, the cinema didn't last very long and was later reconfigured again into flats and was last occupied by the wine and tapas bar you see behind me. Ardrossan Academy remains one of the oldest fixtures of the town and was the first school in the area to provide secondary education. Originally opened in 1882, its home was on the beachfront at South Crescent Road and remained there for the first 50 years of its history, which was neatly placed for pupils arriving by train. In 1933, the school's enrolment had expanded to the extent that a new site was required and the school was moved to its current location on Sorby Road, where it has remained ever since. Sadly, the lives of many ex-pupils were taken during the First and Second World Wars, and their names are remembered on the school's war memorial located in the Assembly Hall. Ardrossan quickly developed during the 18th and 19th centuries and is probably best known as a port where coal and iron were exported to Ireland, Europe and North America for many years. Passenger boat services to the Isle of Arran began in 1834 and the Isle of Man followed in 1892. In 1886 the Ardrossan Harbour Company was formed to deal with the huge increase in use of the harbour. The company built the Eglinton Dock in 1892, along with the existing breakwater. Shipbuilding was one of Ardrossan's important industries. Many local firms were involved in building wooden ships, used as fishing vessels or cargo boats. Unfortunately, due to the competition from abroad, Ardrossan's shipbuilding industry almost ceased to exist after the 1950s. We can't tell what the future will hold for Ardrossan. The Irvine Bay Regeneration Project was set up in 2007 to help bring new jobs to the area. While some question marks might be asked about the overall success of the project, its lasting legacy can still be seen, particularly here around the harbour area. In 2014, the Our Place redevelopment project was set up in Ardrossan by the National Lottery Community Fund. Over the next 5 years, Community Renewal worked with local Ardrossan residents, businesses and organisations to identify solutions to the town's problems. 5-figure funding was approved to host new events such as the Ardrossan Castle Carnival and Sounds on Sands. One lasting legacy from the project was the establishment of the Ardrossan Community Development Trust in 2019, which continues to spearhead the regeneration efforts within the town. Unfortunately, for the next couple of years, the iconic Arran Ferry will be making a second home in Troon, while Ardrossan Harbour and Marina undergo significant refurbishment. Recent plans have been drawn up to redevelop the coastal path along the North Shore, which hopefully won't take too long for you to enjoy a stroll on a summer's day. We can't tell for sure how Ardrossan might look in the next 10, 20 or 50 years, but this is our question to you, the viewer. What do you think Ardrossan will look like in the future? Maybe you're a local resident, maybe you have family who grew up here and have since moved away, or maybe you're just proud to call Ayrshire your home and enjoy the history of our local community. If If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is just the first episode of a new series, so stay tuned for the history of Kilmarnock, Irvine, Kilwinning and many more coming soon.